On this episode of Upcoming Attractions, we've got trailers for Jurassic World Dominion, Don't Look Up, and DC League of Superpets. Plus, our discussions for Venom, Let There Be Carnage, 007 No Time to Die, and Tiger King Season 2. All this and more on Upcoming Attractions. G'day gang, welcome back to another episode of Upcoming Attractions. I'm your host, Matt Vella. Let's get right into this one. Here is my co-host, I can never say that right, can I? Here's my co-host, Adrian Amida, already laughing. How you doing?
Already, I'm pretty damn good, and I hope everyone here is good as well.
Yeah. Also, like speaking of things we always say, you often say, I'm pretty damn, and then something else.
Really? I have not noticed. I'm going to have to put on a shirt.
As someone who edits a lot of the clips, I'll be like, what do you think of this movie? It's pretty damn awesome. Pretty damn good, actually. So I think you've got a catchphrase in
I should have a
there.
pretty damn-o-meter where I rate what I watch. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I love that. And also, here in the flesh, back with us, is our friend Jesse. How you doing?
Matthew, I am also pretty damn good.
I feel like I accidentally downgraded you from co-host to friend. I'm sorry there, buddy. You're a co-host
That's all right.
as well.
I know my place. That's all good.
Oh, I love you. And I love this show. Thanks for joining us today for another episode of Upcoming Attractions. We're about a month into it now. I think this is episode 5 if you include the intro episode. And yeah, it's great. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We are going crazy on TikTok. Already 3 clips over 20K.
Hell yeah.
And we're not using trending sounds, so that's all that bit much. So I'm pretty proud of us. Like go team. Yeah. And we've been charting in the iTunes charts too. I think our highest has been 27 in.
I thought it was 24.
I actually think it was 24. Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was 24. Under TV film reviews in Australia. So that was our peak, and that's pretty good for our show.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy, that's good for us. Let's keep at it. We got another action-packed episode. We're gonna try and skim through this next part real quick, and we've cut it down just to 2. We'll talk about what we've been watching. Let's start things off with Jesse. We've been watching Dexter: New Blood, and we're 3 episodes deep. How are you finding it so far, man?
Well, the last podcast we did, I'd watched episode 1, and I was like, "Oh yes, this is really good." Like towards the last quarter of it, when we're doing spoilers, aren't we?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
we'll touch on maybe possibly some light spoilers. I don't feel like there's anything too major. Like everyone knows, Dexter kills people. Like there's not really that much to spoil. So yeah, I think it's okay.
So he kills the dude at the end of the first episode. I'm like, sick.
Oh my god, Dexter's I can't believe you spoiled that. Oh, fuck, dude. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
And then his son comes along, and for episode 2 and 3, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I know the 4th episode came out yesterday. Here, I haven't watched, and we both haven't watched it yet. Man, I haven't watched it yet, but I don't know. Like, I feel like episode 2 and 3 are kind of dragging a little bit. Like, I like the fact that his son's there, but at the same time, I don't feel like that. Like, I wish they were like getting to know each other a lot more than they are. They just kind of seem to be off doing their own thing. I don't know. What do you think?
What do I think? Look, Dexter's back. I do love how, he still his old self. Michael C. Hall, he is Dexter, and it feels like Dexter. But the show's it's not exactly the same as it was before, There's still jokes, but it's a little less humorous. I feel like the setting, it's a bit more gloomy. But I feel like it's a bit by design. What I'm happy about this show is it has evolved. And I know, like in the first episode, he's like, I'm a monster, but I'm an evolving monster. But at least the show structure is evolving with it. Like before, it felt very serialized. And when it was going neck and neck with Breaking Bad, like it really felt like towards the end, like Breaking Bad's quality is like, this is how TV shows are now. They're not like Dexter anymore, And now I feel like Dexter's the style of storytelling, it's a lot more modern. It's more what streaming audiences like. And I like that. I like seeing that the show has evolved. It feels less networky. But that being said, I miss the Miami setting a little bit. I do miss a lot of the characters. I started watching some of the earlier episodes again, and yeah, like sure, Deborah's still swearing, but it's not funny anymore. It's scary when she does it because it's so threatening. And there's I miss the theme song. You know, the dun da da da.
Oh, I do as well. I love that theme song. I absolutely love that theme song.
I was hoping in the first episode when he kills the first guy, the theme song would come in. Like, I thought it was cool how the voiceover came back, and the voiceover is very Dexter, and I love that he still thinks the same. I'm hoping like they're saving it for a cool moment, like maybe he goes back to Miami, or maybe he does something. But also, you know, the opening title sequence of him like cooking the meats and stuff, and
I love it.
I'm missing. I wish there was just a little bit more Easter eggs, a little bit more callbacks.
Because it almost feels like a lot. Sometimes it just feels like its own show. Like it doesn't feel like. Do you know what I mean? Like tonally sometimes, and the style. It almost feels like its own different show, which I wouldn't have a problem with. But I wish it had a bit more connection to the old series, I guess. Like the intro song. The music, I don't know, like it's still early, it's still 3 episodes in, they've still got 7 episodes left. I think see how it goes. But yeah, I don't know, like the last like episodes 2 and 3, I'm kind of having mixed feelings about it. I don't know. I don't know.
Part of that problem is and it's part of the writers trying to be a bit realistic. Like in Miami, it was weird that there were so many serial killers in Miami, and they all wanted to kill Dexter, and he had all his victims, and no one ever looked for them. And now it's like he killed one guy, and it took him 3 episodes to hide the body. 3 episodes to hide the body.
That's a long time.
Well, to be fair, he killed him at the end of the first episode, to be fair. So technically 2 episodes.
2 episodes. 2 episodes. But still, like, by Dexter's stance, he'd hide it in one scene before. And, look, it's not a bad thing. Like, if anything, it's more realistic, and you know, it's you're right. It doesn't feel like Dexter season 9. It feels like a new show starring Dexter, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But
is this supposed to be a one-off thing, or are they going to keep going? Oh, okay.
No, it's supposed to be like a limited series, I guess, because it got such a bad reaction to season 8 because no one liked the way it ended. I kind of felt like they were compelled to do like a limited series to give it like an actual finale. And I'm kind of glad they did, because season 8 didn't end the best. Like, and I kind of was pissed off that they killed off Deborah, or like ended it the way they ended it. Because Deborah now is like the new Harry. Like, she's like the new like person that talks to him.
She's like his conscience. Like she's dead, but she's in his head.
But I don't like the way they've written her. Like,
well,
she comes off weird. Like,
I read somewhere, I think it was like from a producer, and they said the point of Deborah now is the opposite of Harry. So Harry before was his moral compass, telling him to do the right thing, telling him, not telling him. It's like telling him how to hide. You know, he was trying to reel him in a bit. But now Deborah is not that. She's more like his doubts. Rather than like, hey, be a good person. It's now like, no, you're going to be a bad dad. It's more like, so it is more depressing. It's because it's more negative.
And it's just so not her character. Like, it's just like a new character almost. Do you know what I mean? Like, besides the swearing, like, it's almost like a new character. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's true. And it's because I guess you could argue it's a manifestation of her mind, but it is weird to see a face that we know and love, but they act different. It is weird as an audience member to see that. Even though it makes sense. To me, I agree. It does feel a little bit weird. I think I'm just grateful though that we've got at least someone back. Like, she was one of the best characters in that show, but like,
yeah,
I know who's alive is I know LaGuardia died.
Batista and Quinn are alive. But I don't think they're coming back. I'd love to see
Batista come back. That would be amazing, but I doubt it too.
I don't think they're coming back, because I was reading interviews before this series aired, and a lot of the co-stars from the old series were like, oh yeah, we haven't been asked to come back. Like
Oh.
I remember reading a thing with James Remar, who played Harry. He said like, yeah, no, I wasn't asked to come back. So I don't know,
Yeah, I
like,
read that too.
unless they're just fooling us and just like they come at the end in like a cameo or something like that, or I don't know. Because I'd love to see. I mean, if I was writing it, I'd love to see just Dexter eventually go back to Miami for whatever reason. Because Miami was like such a that location was like a character in itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.
Like the new setting does it takes like I wouldn't say it's taken the soul out, but it's swapped the soul with another soul. Like because in this, I would say the city of where are they again? Some snow town?
They're in a fictitious town in New York. It's not an actual place.
That is so different. That's insanely different.
Yeah.
Well, in this place, it's like that city feels like a character too, but it's a different type of character. Like I love that we see the community, we see all these other people. But yeah, can I make a what I think is a very obvious prediction? And this may even happen in episode 4, so I will not put this as a clip if it's already happened. But let's be real. Harrison, his son, is a killer too, right? He's no doubt a serial killer.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, it's probably going to go that route if I have to guess. I mean, like, look, if he wasn't, I don't know, it'd be kind of boring. Maybe I'd be more interesting if he had like a dark passenger like Dexter. He's kind of messed up like Dexter. I mean, he saw his mum die, even though he was like a 1-year-old or however old he was.
It would be interesting to see him to see Dexter be the Harry that teaches his son the code and seeing how he reacts to it. Like that would be really interesting. There's one more thing. What do you make of the subplot of, I don't know, there's like a girl kidnapped in a room somewhere and this guy is spying on her. What's going on there, do you reckon?
Well, I think that's like the new serial killer, because you know how every season of Dexter there's a big serial, like he kills killers, but then there's like a big serial killer each season that he kind of like, he doesn't kill till like the very last episode. And I think that's going to be the killer, and I think that's going to be that kid's dad that he killed in the first episode.
Yeah. There's also there's another millionaire too. It's definitely one of those two guys. Like unless it's one of those character, two. But
well, it looks like an old dude.
Yeah,
I got the impression it was an old dude.
Well, there's two old dudes, and for like the first 2 episodes, I thought they were the same guy.
That's what I thought as well.
Episode 3, I'm like, oh no,
it's a different guy.
So I think it's maybe meant to, I think it's meant to be a red herring. I don't know, but overall, I am enjoying it. This does remind me a little bit of Prison Break season 5, where the show ended, and then like 10 years later, they did another season, and it was kind of connected, but it clearly different. But it was also a bit more modern. It's which is good. But there's rumors they may do another season of Prison Break even all these years later. So maybe we'll get more Dexter. Who knows? I love him. But let's move on to, it's my little drum roll, Hawkeye, the new Marvel show. We've seen so Adrienne and I have seen episodes 1 and 2. It's always exciting to have a new Marvel property on our hands. Adi, what do you make of the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye?
I really, really enjoyed it. I think that I didn't think it was super mind-blowing, but I think it's very enjoyable. For me, I really love Haley Steinfeld. I think she's really she's effortless at being quirky and cool at the same time. She's so funny. And I think she pairs really well opposite Jeremy Renner. I think they have a really good energy together. I love the fact that she's just so hilariously independent. I feel like I can relate to her on a personal level, where she's sort of like accident prone in a really extreme way. Like, I don't know, I think she's really cool. And I have to say, my favorite scene so far has been the live action role play that Hawkeye had to do.
With that guy.
Yeah, to get his suit back.
No, that's cool.
But yeah.
Well, there's been like a few moments, including that scene, where it's kind of like, there's something that I feel like the Marvel universe has been missing is moments where the superheroes are like heroes, not just fighting bad guys, but like making people's lives better. And like that's one of those scenes where like when he goes, "Hey man, you get to be a superhero every day. Can I be one for once?" Like
Yeah.
that's like, oh, like those are the feel good moments I want to see.
It was so good. He's often, I think, look, even in the beginning for me, Hawkeye was the quote unquote useless Avenger. Like, why is this guy even here?
He's like, you like that guy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He
That's
really,
your favorite Avenger?
exactly. He really, for some reason, ticked me off. I was like, how the hell did this guy get into this team? I don't understand.
It's like
but then
my dad's friends with Iron Man. That's how I got on the team.
honestly, yeah, it's like, I don't know, some nepotism situation, but I really have come to like him more. But for me, Haley is the standout of the show by far. Clint and Kate
Yeah,
are great together, but Kate's my favorite.
Look, actually, yeah. I was surprised by seeing this is more Kate's show than Hawkeye's. Like, I know she's meant to become the new Hawkeye or whatever.
Yes.
But she, like, this is her show. I think that's a good thing because this may be a controversial opinion, but Jeremy Renner's a pretty wooden actor. And
Ooh,
I
mate, that
agree.
is fighting words.
I agree.
That is
He's-
fighting words. I
he's not-
strongly disagree with that. Strongly disagree.
yeah, that's because
Okay.
he looks like he could. That's because he's probably your dad or something. Like, he looks like he could be related to you, I reckon.
There is
Have you
not.
ever got that
Jeremy,
before? You
what?
look
You
a little
reckon-
bit like Jeremy
Look,
Renner,
there's-
I reckon.
You reckon I'd look like Jeremy Renner?
I reckon a little bit.
The
Don't you?
dude has blue eyes
If you
and like
dressed
a
up and you
light
went
brown
for it.
blondie hair.
But the head, like you could,
Yeah, the
you
head,
could pull
the
off
facial
Hawkeye
structure.
costume.
You could probably. I
You
gotta
have the
say,
same
look,
shaped
look.
head, for sure.
There is no
I reckon.
requirement. There's no requirement for heavyweight acting on his part for any of the films, really,
That is
save
true. You just
for
gotta do
that.
this.
Yeah, save for that one scene where I actually finally felt something for him between him and Black Widow. But this is one of those situations
Oh,
where
he has his moments for sure.
yeah, he has his moments, but this is one of those situations where you make big bucks because you're in on a huge franchise. You learn your lines, you come in, you do copy and paste sort of what the director's giving you, and it's like stock standard sort of stuff. He doesn't have to go ham, whereas Haley Steinfeld actually has a lot to work with here, especially because we're being introduced to her for the first time, and she's also has a very emotional backstory. I have heard that her character is a fan favorite in the comics as well since she's been introduced.
Yeah, I don't know when she came out. Like I don't.
I think it was 2004
I never
or
read-
2005.
Yeah, it was beyond I think my time when I don't think I was reading comics around then. But a lot of this show takes heavy influence from a particular run, like the arrows and the design and everything. Which there has been some criticism because this one particular guy hasn't received like credit for that. Like he kind of recreated Hawkeye. Like he didn't create Hawkeye, but he kind of made this new likable version. I think like in that run, like Hawkeye was kind of like the Bruce Willis of the Marvel universe. He lived in a shitty apartment. He had a dog, I think.
Bruce Willis of the Marvel
Yeah.
universe.
Well, it's tenfold here because like
That's
it's
perfect.
Christmas. Everyone calls it like the Die Hard. Like he really is kind of the I'm too old for this crap. Like that sort of vibe. Look, so far it's been fun. I think it's had some really great action. I love the way it starts with the flashback to New York and the Avengers scene. And like you see like her, I love how they've set up Kate as a character and how she idolizes Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Because it kind of explains like, there are way too many archers in the Marvel universe. Like, I don't think there's that many archers in the world right now. Like, there are so many of them. And I like that they actually go, oh, well, the reason she took up archery is because she saw Hawkeye save these people as a kid. And it's like, oh, that's really nice. They've really established that really well.
They made it really
So-
impactful in a very small amount of time, which was amazing to see.
They really did. I think, yeah, this show, it's a short show. I think we've only got like
6 episodes total run.
yes, and we've already seen 2, so it's a lot. We saw at the end of episode 2 a shot of this girl called Echo, who's getting her own show coming up.
Jesus,
There's
is
been-
it just Marvel like, oh, hey, you see that person that's in? They're getting their own TV show now. They're
Pretty
getting their own movie.
much, like, you watch Hawkeye's dog is gonna get a show in only a matter of time.
Hawkeye's dog.
Like,
and Marvel's like, yeah, just give us the money. There you go.
look, there's been some supposed leaks that I won't talk about because they'll probably, by the time we record our next episode, they'll come out. But it sounds like her character is in store for some exciting things.
Ooh.
Yeah, look, this isn't my favorite Marvel show, but I think it does feel the most Marvel, if that makes sense.
I
Like,
understand what you're saying. I completely get it.
it's got the action, it's got the comedy. I feel like the aesthetic's nicer than Falcon and Winter Soldier. So far, I'm digging it, man. I'm really digging it, and
It might just keep
the question
escalating,
is-
and then we might be left on some explosive ending. So
yeah, I just want to know, like, how are they gonna make Hawkeye, the show Hawkeye, how they're gonna give us an oh shit moment, you know, like all the other ones, you know, like all of them so far have led to something, you know. WandaVision sort of set up Doctor Strange and the multiverse. Loki
Good point.
pretty much set up all the multiverse stuff as well. Falcon Winter Soldier literally gave us a new Captain America. Hawkeye is not one of those mystical characters, so what are they going to do in Hawkeye? I have no idea, but I can't wait to see.
Me
It's
too.
Marvel. I'm sure there's some amazing cameo or something. We'll see. Any other thoughts
I was
before we move on? Oh, so
I was
Jesse?
just going to say, I strongly disagree about the Jeremy Renner dish. Like, he's like the Town, the Hurt Locker, Wind River. Like,
I guess
he's a good actor. I mean, you know, I've watched his other big show that he's done. I'll talk about that next episode. But Mayor of Kingstown, I've been watching Mayor of Kingstown, and I'm really enjoying that. I think he's good in that.
Right.
So, just my opinion, I think he's a good actor. But
Look,
Alright.
maybe he just phones it in on Hawkeye. I don't know.
I think
Maybe,
he would
don't know.
phone it in. He doesn't have to do that much. So
Actually, to be fair to Jeremy Renner, actually, they're not giving him a lot to do. Like,
Yeah.
he's never really had a storyline in any of the Marvel films he's been in. He gets a scene here and there, but
doesn't he get
know.
a bigger part in Endgame or something? Or I haven't seen Endgame.
but
doesn't he
even
get a-
that, sort of. But it comes down to like 2 scenes. Like, they're good scenes, but it's not like it stretches the whole show. And like, he had a cool speech in Ultron, but again, that was a little bit. He's
too many
been
too many
really-
characters.
Yeah, well, he's been given the short end of the stick, and apparently in
Yeah.
Ultron, Joss Whedon like really fought hard to give him that farm scene where you meet his family and stuff, because he's like, he hasn't got his own movie. We've got to do something with Hawkeye.
aww.
But
Make
you know,
him
you could
feel
argue the same about
included.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah, make Jeremy Renner feel included, guys. I thought this crazy because at the time of the first Avengers, Jeremy Renner was maybe the biggest draw, like star power wise. Like, I don't know, was ScarJo
not-
bigger than Jeremy Renner back then?
She-
Not Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Robert wasn't big before Iron Man, but by Avengers, he was a big name. Yeah, good point. I'll shut the fuck up. But Jeremy Renner, he was a big get. You know, he was the other. What was the Matt Damon movie that?
Born.
Born. He was the new
yeah,
Jason
Bourne, yeah.
Bourne. You know, like it was you know.
Well, technically, he wasn't Jason Bourne, but he was playing a Bourne-like character.
Yeah. But you know, he was a big get at the time, and I think like,
Yeah.
he's even a bigger actor now. But they're still just like, we don't. It's very obvious Marvel had no idea what the fuck to do with his character. But in their defense, you could argue the same for the comics. It's surprising he even got in the Avengers movie to begin with.
Yeah.
But you know what? Shouts to Hawkeye. The show's, and I'm enjoying the show so far.
Good.
It's great. And this character of Kate Bishop is
She's
even
awesome.
better in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to seeing her more moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, the Segway King's back, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The Segway King live in the flesh. Let's talk about a trailer. Let's talk about Don't Look Up.
Ooh.
Don't Look Up. This one is probably, you know, it's got a lot of buzz, and rightly so. I mean, anything that DiCaprio touches turns to gold. Can you guys think of a bad DiCaprio movie?
Honestly,
I can't think
no.
of-
I actually can't.
Does it exist? I'm sure there's got to be one.
There's got to be
bad
at least one. Yeah, that he's done. It's been bad.
You know, it's probably like the Leonardo DiCaprio PR team has probably found that DVD
And
they buried it
erased
deep
it.
underground. Oh god.
Probably one of his older movies.
Yeah.
If
I know
anything.
But yeah,
But he
he's,
hasn't done that much lately. Like I haven't seen he did the Once Upon a Time on Hollywood, and then it was like The Revenant before that, and that was like a 4-year
I think
gap or
he's been
something. I think.
producing a lot these days, so that's why he's not.
But also,
Yeah.
But also, DiCaprio kind of only works with like huge directors now. Like, if it's not Tarantino, like in this one, I'm the most excited for Adam McKay.
I love him
Oh my
so
God.
much. I am obsessed
Can we
with
talk about
Adam
Adam
McKay.
McKay?
Yes, we can. We
Adam
can talk about him
McKay.
all the time.
Incredible. I love it. Adam McKay is the man. I've always been a fan, but like it was around, I think when I saw Vice, I was like, because I missed The Big Short. I still have to watch it. It's on my to-do list. But Vice, like I saw that and that just blew my mind. Some of my favorite editing I've ever seen in film. And just, I didn't know you could tell a true story that way, you know? And I'm just like, what a legend. For people who don't know Adam McKay, I've got some of his stuff here. He's most known for Step Brothers. He directed Step Brothers. He also
Anchorman.
directed Anchorman. What else?
The other
got?
guys,
Anchorman 2,
Talladega
obviously.
Nights. Yeah.
Pretty much, if it's a good Will Ferrell movie, he was probably attached. But in recent years, you know, he's gone to more serious stuff. He did The Big Short, which won a bunch of awards. He did Vice, which I loved. He wrote on Ant-Man, but I know that project went through a lot of stuff. So maybe don't hold that to him so much. But what a great movie. And this cast, stacked. Let's lay on the cast again. If I can pull it up. I had it up here.
Leo
We got
DiCaprio.
Jonah Hill.
Yep.
Yep.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence hasn't done anything in a while, has she? She's been
Nah.
quiet.
To be honest, I think that was needed because she was really oversaturating the market for a while. I actually
she
couldn't
was, like,
watch
in
anything
everything.
with her. I just wouldn't do it because all I see is Jennifer Lawrence. But we've had a good break now.
Yeah, and now it feels like Jennifer Lawrence. I'm glad you're back. Like,
Yeah.
welcome back to the party. Also we got Timothy Chalamet, who's like all the rage right now. Everybody loves Timothy Chalamet. Women want to be him, men want to sleep with him. He's that good. Meryl Streep, Oscar bait, in Live in the Flesh. Michael Chiklis, Ariana Grande. Whoa, what? Kid Cudi's in this movie?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Kid Cudi? I didn't know he acted. Holy shit. Okay. And Tyler Perry? Wow, okay. So, and freaking Hellboy's in this. Like, okay, literally everybody's in this
There's
movie.
so many actors.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Look, usually I throw it to someone and say, what do you think? And I haven't done that yet. So, Adrienne, you're clearly very keen on this film.
Oh, big time.
What do you think of this movie? Do you have anything else to bring besides how amazing this cast is?
I think I was up scrolling at 1 a.m. one night when the trailer had dropped literally 2 minutes before and it had come up somewhere. And the second I saw it, I was so surprised I hadn't heard about it before because this is a pretty big deal. Everyone involved has a very big name, whether they are, acting, directing, in the music industry, you name it. It looks so funny. I think when Adam doesn't just direct, but he's also written the film, it's just going to be gold because he gets to, direct the comedic timing that he's put into that script just from beginning to end. And the actors that he trusts, I trust as well. And I think it's going to be a comedic blast. Who doesn't love a good end of the world movie, especially a comedy one? I love them.
Yeah.
I think they're so underrated. And this is a very fresh take on it as well.
Adrienne, I'm going to call you out there. Name another end of the world comedy movie.
Literally, it's
what?
World's End. Is that the title? The Simon Pegg one that
World's
came
End.
out. It was like
That's
What's the
on
one
me.
with
I
them,
set the bar too low. That's on me.
What about the one with James Franco? What about like James Franco?
this is
and
the
James
end.
Franco
This is
playing-
the end.
Yeah.
that's one of my
This is the end
all-time
and World's
favorite
End
movies.
came out. It's so good. The end of the world's going to come out really close to each other too. That's
Yeah, I think
bizarre.
they did actually.
Jesse, what do you think of this? Oh, sorry, Adrienne, I just cut you off.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Did you
Go
have
for
more to
it.
say?
No, go Jesse. Go for it.
Oh no, it looks really good. I didn't feel like the trailer gave away too much, but it seems like a very more of a comedic role for Leo, which I don't think we've seen many comedic roles. I think the last one was Wolf of Wall Street, wasn't it? That he's like kind of comedic or.
You could argue Once Upon a Time.
That was
in Hollywood,
comedic.
you could argue
Oh
it's
yeah,
comedy.
true. Yeah, actually, he was comedic in that one. Completely
But
forgot about
he's
that.
not. You're right though. He's not known for comedy, but
Yeah.
he's dabbled in it here and there. But it's never like an outright comedy film. It's usually it's a movie with a lot of comedic elements or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, it's not like a laugh out loud. It's just like a subtle comedic moments that kind of dropped in. I did see. I haven't seen much of Adam McKay. I did actually see Vice though. I think a couple of months ago. I was just bored one night. I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to watch this, and I thought Vice is fantastic. I thought
So
Christian
good.
Bale was fantastic, and I love that scene where they're sitting down. I think it's he's talking about being the vice president or whatever, and he basically convinces Sam Rockwell's George W. Bush to basically give him all powers, political powers.
Yeah.
So, which I thought was great. But yeah, no, I'll definitely be seeing this movie, and it looked really good to me, and yeah, I mean, does it have to? I kind of go. It has something to do with climate change or something like that, or
Okay, so the plot for this film is a little weird. It's basically, hey, remember last episode we were talking about Moonfall? Imagine that, but it's a comedy. It's
oh, okay,
here's the one word synopsis, the one sentence synopsis on IMDb. Two low-level astronomers must go on a giant meteor tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. So, I think it's the two of them, they are going to talk shows, newspapers, whatever. They're trying to warn everyone that the world's going to end because this comet, but no one believes them and stuff. It's really getting a lot of flashbacks to last episode with Adrian's 2012 Doomsday Preppers story.
yeah,
Yeah, this is a
Be
very.
sure to
Yes.
check. Yeah,
It's a common theme right now for some reason.
yeah, for some reason. But yeah, be sure to check out that episode, guys, if you haven't already. Don't Look Up looks funny. It looks awesome. I'm super keen. I feel like Adam McKay, anything he touches, it will be gold now. And this cast is literally, they're
Heaven.
some of the biggest names in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
impressive.
crazy. The budget must be insane. Just to pay all these people
75
to show
million
up.
US dollars.
Is that it?
Yeah, not actually
that's-
as bad as you think.
It's still a lot of money.
I guess people of this caliber, they want to work with people of their caliber. So yeah, and Jonah Hill, he's come a long way since Superbad. It's his second movie opposite DiCaprio. That's nothing to scoff at. That's pretty amazing. Anything else? Should we move on?
We shall move on.
Do you guys actually think I look like Jeremy Renner?
You could do
A
it.
little bit,
Yeah.
not a lot,
See,
not a lot.
I've had Robert Pattinson and I've had
Oh my
Kit
god,
Harington.
I was watching Twilight the other night and I was literally like, he kind of Jesse kind of looks like Robert Pattinson. For real. If
Yeah.
you shaved your beard, you could
I-
see the structure. 100%.
I had an actor tell me I look like Robert Pattinson. I was like, I don't know whether to
Thank
take that
you.
as a compliment or
No,
not.
it's a
but
good thing.
That's a compliment.
I've got Kit Harington as well, which okay.
I don't
Yeah.
see Kit Harington at all, but congratulations
Yeah.
on getting that.
Okay.
I'm just a giant hairy meatball. I'm a squashed hamster. I'm a disaster.
Oh my
I'm like
God.
if Oscar the Grouch was Wog.
What the fuck?
I'm like a kebab. I'm like a
Mate,
kebab
we're
that's
all
been
wog
dropped.
here.
Yeah.
We are. Oh my god, we're a Wogcast. We're a
all
Wog
wog.
podcast.
We are a Wog
Yeah,
podcast.
I look like a kebab that was dropped in the dust bag of a vacuum cleaner.
Actual fuck. Whoever said this to you,
Okay.
I will Falcon punch them with a kebab in
No,
my hand.
I'm saying
Okay.
I'm talking shit.
Okay,
I made
good.
all that up now.
Good.
But yeah. No, okay. Back to the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, next we are going to talk about Jurassic World Dominion. Now, the Jurassic World Dominion has had a really interesting promotional cycle so far because we got a short film about, I think, last year or something. And then we get this, like, an extended scene. And it's like, motherfucker, are we going to get a trailer? Or
Yeah, what's going on?
what's going on? I don't know.
They had a first look thing.
Yeah, it's like they really want to hide some stuff, which, I don't know, we're going to see. I feel like they're trying to do the Jurassic World Endgame or something. But before we get into Jurassic World, I want to hear your thoughts on the whole Jurassic Park, Jurassic World franchise. I'm seeing two faces of disappointment. Let's start with Jesse. Jesse.
Yes.
What do you think of the Jurassic Park / World franchise so far? And
so Jurassic Park's probably in my top 3 favorite movies of all time. The first Jurassic Park. I've got the whole series on Blu-ray. I've got this limited edition like T-Rex model that's like crashing out of the Jurassic Park gate that I got with like some sort of special edition Jurassic Park thing. I mean, I've been to the sites where they've filmed it. I've been to where they filmed Jurassic World. I've got the books. The movies are based on. You can say I'm a fan. I've got a lot of shit. I've got a lot of the Jurassic. I got a lot of Jurassic Park shit from when I was a kid. Like they had like this like not a storybook, but like a book of like behind the scenes or something like that. Like all this shit inside of it. And I've got a whole bunch of other Jurassic Park books around here somewhere from when I was a kid. So yeah, you could say I'm a fan.
Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick.
Yes.
Rank all the Jurassic Park and World, all the Jurassic movies. Rank them from, I don't know, best to worst or worst to best. Up to you.
Best one's obviously Jurassic Park. Lost World. I think Lost World gets way too much shit. I think Lost World's fantastic. I think by far it gets way too much shit. So Lost World second. Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World are kind of put on a similar level, and then Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom is like
it's a few extra stops down. Oh wow.
Yeah, I absolutely loathe Fallen Kingdom. I hated that movie so much. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I finished it.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Okay, I actually talked about Fallen Kingdom back on Midnight Double Feature podcast, and the thing that pisses me off so much about Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom, so Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, is it's two movies sticky taped together. It's you've got a plot, a really good idea for a film. The volcano's going to explode. It's going to kill all dinosaurs. It's going to get the dinosaurs off the island. Great. And you start with this huge bang, this amazing action set piece. Awesome. Then you have a bunch of like filler where they have to like do setup again. They have to set up a whole new plot. Like, so the first half of the movie, they set up the plot, all the cool shit happens, it ends. Movie should have ended. But no, and that's only half an hour. But instead now they've got to set up this whole new plot of, they've got a military dinosaur, which is the exact same shit they did in the last movie, because apparently they've run out of ideas. And now all of a sudden it becomes this, like, thriller inside of a house. It's like a whole other genre now. And it's like, and the scale is so much smaller than it was before. So you've started on this really big high point, and then you go, and it's like, it's so much lower stakes than what you had before. So it feels like they're two separate movies that should have been swapped around and not sticky taped together, which is dumb. And also, by setting all this up, you kind of ignore the way Jurassic World ended with some of the dinosaurs going away. And so now you've just set up Jurassic World Dominion. Like, you could take Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom out and this new movie, and it would still be the same story because they just end with the same point. That movie's so fucking shit. And that scene of Chris Pratt trying to like roll away from the lava. Cringe. I don't know. But yeah, I think I agree with your ranking. But yeah. What do you think of the rest of the franchise, Jesse, before I throw it to 80? Any other comments, thoughts?
No, yeah, like the trailer. Well, am I talking about the trailer or just the franchise in general? I mean,
we're not this new one yet.
I just really, really do not like Fallen Kingdom at all. I loathe it. Jurassic World, like, and to be honest, I'm kind of mixed about Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard as the main two leads. I'm kind of just like, this isn't Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant. They just don't have I don't know. Like
Well-
they felt like they were supposed to be in that world, like Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant, whereas Bryce Dallas Howard's character and Chris Pratt's character just feel like gets played up. Just feels, I don't know.
They're trying to do the Marvel thing where it's like everybody's got to be a cowboy who makes snarky comments to everybody, but it doesn't work when you're running away from dinosaurs. Like if a T-Rex is like, "Rah!" You don't go, "Hey, cool guy, you got a silly hat on," and then no, you go, "Oh no, that's scary," and you run away. Like even Jeff Goldblum, who was so cool and calm and composed, he acts scared around a dinosaur. Like Jurassic Park at times was a horror movie, you know?
Yeah.
These movies, it's, you know, your hair's got to look perfect at all times.
Yes.
There was a lot of criticism in Jurassic World where forgetting that lady was like running in high heels and through the jungle.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man. Like, it's not... That's
Bryce Dallas Howard runs in her high heels away from the T-Rex. I'm like, at that point, why don't you just like chuck the high heels away and just run? Like, why would you be
Also,
running in high heels?
Adrienne, you can comment on this, but if two dudes right now are talking about this, imagine the other stuff we missed right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. You've basically, the whole thing is too. They tried to make the characters too polished and perfect to the point where they completely. Everything is lacking. There's no substance there, so you don't care. Straight off the bat, you don't really care about them at all. Like if Chris Pratt got eaten in front of me, I'd probably be like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Well, you would assume that he pops out. You would assume he'd pop out of the dinosaur's butt, purely clean, no poop, just combing his hair. How you doing, chickie babe?
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm Chris Pratt. Nothing can hurt me, and there's no such thing as steaks.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's just, I lost interest in it. I have lost interest in it completely. I expect nothing. I feel nothing. The originals are amazing. I agree with your ranking, Jesse, to a T. And Matt, you're right. There are definitely horror elements in it too, which raise the stakes even more and make it, that's what sets it apart as, you know, an adventure Spielberg classic. Also, you know what? On that note, I think that there's something about, and I'm a huge Spielberg fan. I worship the ground he walks on. There's something about those mechanics compared to this incredible budget for CGI, which can be very cool in its own way. But there's also something in that because we're used to the original Jurassic Parks, it again like de-escalates the intensity of the film for me.
Yeah, there was an over-reliance. I think they're learning from that. It seems to be they've slowly started to implement more practical stuff. It took them long enough, but yeah. Look, let me tell you why I have faith for this one, and this might be the one that can win us back.
Okay.
They are finally doing not one but two things I've been wanting them to do since the first Jurassic Park. So the first thing is they're reuniting the original cast. We've got Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are all going to be in the one film. They haven't done that since the first one. It was so weird with Jurassic Park, Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3. It's like they took the main cast, the first one, split them in half, and put them in one. Like they put Sam Neill in one movie and Laura Dern, and they put Jeff Goldblum in the other. I think that's what it was. And it's like, why split them up? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they're not going to have chemistry with these. Well, they might have chemistry with these random new people. We're not going to care because they're not the characters we first fell in love with. So they're finally reuniting them. So that's incredible. And then on top of that, they're finally committing to something I've been hinting at since the first one. That's dinosaurs will be in the real world. In the Lost World, they slapped on 20 minutes at the end where the T-Rex gets to the city. And it's like, no, I wish that was the whole movie. And then Jurassic Park 3 that ends with the
You wish that was the whole movie for Lost World.
That would be that would be a different setting. You know, we've already seen dinosaurs in a jungle, right? I want to see dinosaurs in a new setting. I feel like that could be... I'm not saying The Lost World's I'm not saying The Lost World's a bad movie, but I'm saying it would have been a different movie. You know? It's more of the same. Having more isn't always good, you know? And so... Okay,
Sorry,
tell me why
sorry,
I'm an
go on.
idiot. Tell me why I'm an idiot. Tell me why I'm an idiot.
No, I just love seeing the dinosaurs in the jungle. I remember in the so I've read the original novels that the films are based on, and they're fantastic. They're a hell of a lot more graphic than the movies. They would be like MA at least
Yeah.
if they
I'm
were
not-
like translate the
I'm
novels.
not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I like the new scenery. I wish I had more of it. I guess that's what I really mean.
Well,
Yeah.
in the second The Lost World sequel, that one takes place all in a jungle as well, and in that one, it kind of followed the same thing where it was like the corporates trying to go, like a couple of corporates trying to go to the island or whatever, and still, it's been a long time since I've read it, but it's trying to steal eggs or whatever it was, and I kind of like I love that jungle setting, because to me that's just Jurassic Park, that jungle setting. But I get your thing about, you wanted a bit of variety with the setting and whatnot, but I think I would have hated Lost World if it was all in the city.
Well, I guess the fear is it just end up being that Godzilla 2000 movie, but we've had Jurassic Park on the island, Jurassic Lost World mostly on the island, Jurassic Park 3 on an island, Jurassic World all on an island, with a park, which is a bit different, and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, half of it's on an island, the other half's sort of like in a house, which is just weird. But like, every single freaking Jurassic Park movie, they hint of dinosaurs in the real world, except for the first one. Lost World, T-Rex gets the city, yay. End of Jurassic Park 3, the pterodactyls fly off towards humanity. End of Jurassic World, I think pterodactyls also fly off towards humanity. And in Fallen Kingdom, you see that they let the dinosaurs free and they run out. So now I think this movie is the movie I've been waiting for since I was a little kid. I think finally I'm going to see... I believe the plot's going to be like a Scooby-Doo hunt where they've got to find different dinosaurs in different settings and capture them, bring them back to the island. And I'm all for that new element. It's something different. I'm excited to see something different. And I think that'll be really cool. And then you reunite the old cast. I hope they're not just here for cameos. I hope they're here for like
A solid
to
portion.
meet, interact. Yeah.
To me, that's the biggest draw card of this new movie, like having the
Yeah.
3 original cast members.
Agreed.
That's the biggest draw card.
Look, if Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard die in the opening act, and
Cool.
then the 3 original leads continue the film, I wouldn't be mad.
I think that would be
this feels like-
amazing. They should definitely do that.
But they're like, because they don't feel like actual people. Like
No.
like Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, and Ellie Sattler. They felt like actual grounded people in this world that you could believe would be in this kind of world, even though it's very fictitious. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard just feel like these flashy, fake, and
supermodels, nothing bad about
And
it.
I like seeing, no offense, I like seeing them in movies, but I just don't think that I'd rather someone that's a character that's like grounded and involved in this kind of world. I don't know, like.
Look, this is the type of this is the problem with ever since Marvel took over the universe. I feel a lot of the copycats have learnt the wrong lessons. They think, okay, make a joke every 5 seconds. And then have a whippy Han Solo. I don't care. Hey, I make jokes all the time sort of guy.
Yeah.
And if you can set up a sequel if you spend like half your movie setting up a sequel, it'd be good. But the difference is like the reason that shit works at Marvel, because it comes with good storytelling. And as we will definitely touch on with our Venom review, it's the same problem that the Jurassic World movies are doing. Like, these people aren't real people. They don't have hopes and dreams. They have plot points to get to.
Yeah, and their hair doesn't even move. Like, literally, you're running from a dinosaur, for God's sake. Does it have to stay
Every
perfect?
10 seconds, it looks like an ad. Every 10 seconds looks like a commercial.
They've got to be fucking perfect. So
Yeah. Like, God forbid someone gets punched in the face and their nose bleeds. Like,
yeah.
when was the last time you've seen that happen in a big blockbuster movie? It
I
never
know.
happens because, or you see someone get shot. You'll notice a lot of those PG-13 blockbuster movies, they shoot guns, but very rarely do you see someone get shot. You just see them and go, oh, I'm bleeding. What a coincidence. You were shooting guns earlier and now I'm bleeding. But, all right. Any other thoughts, comments, anything on Jurassic World Dominion? All right. I'm keen for it. I'm hoping they take this in a stronger direction. Yeah. Alrighty, and before we get into our last trailer for the day, we should say Adrian's having technical difficulties, so she stepped out, which is a shame. She will be missed, but I'm sure she'll be back next episode. Also, I'm getting some text right now. Apparently, my cat almost escaped, which is an indoor cat. But speaking of pets, man, I've got the segue. I'm the segue king.
Wow, that's a pretty. I mean,
I shouldn't be making jokes. I shouldn't be making jokes. My cat could be in danger. My girlfriend just texted me.
My cat could be in peril. It could be dead. But look,
there's.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to wish ill will on you.
But look, there's DC League of Superpets, and they just dropped a trailer. But also, it's also funny because my girlfriend's texting me right now. She's saying the cat has learned how to open a fly screen door. She jumped on someone's roof. She's like Batman. She's Batcat, which is perfect for this trailer because, well, it's not a cat, but Batman has a dog. We get a bat dog in this.
Holy shit.
Oh, God. Okay, so there's a bunch of shit I could talk about this, but before I say anything, Jesse, as a non-superhero guy,
yes,
do you have any thoughts, comments, queries about this trailer, and what do you think of this, man? What do you think of this? First impressions.
Look, my first impressions was I had no idea. Like, I've never heard of. I was asking. Well, we're chatting before. Like, is this a comic book? Like, because I was watching all these. Like, they had Superman at the start, and it's all cartoon, and I'm just like basically vomiting out thoughts here. But first thing I was just gonna say when I initially saw it, I'm like, is it just me, or is Superman just reminding me of Mr. Incredible? Just like his like
for sure
make and mannerisms and stuff like that. And I thought this is not an Avengers movie. It'd be like to do with the pets because it's got pets in this name. And then it had all these pets come up, and I'm like, oh, is it like a pets Justice League or something like that, or is it like I don't know. Like, it looked kind of good, but I like, I do have like a soft spot for animated films that, like, got a good comedy element to them, and I don't know, it looked all right to me. So it's something different. It's not the same kind of superhero formula. So yeah, I don't know. It looked pretty interesting. Something a bit different.
I'm trying to just look up. No, it's not. I'm not sure if this is by the same. I don't think this is by the same studio that did Secret Life of Pets, but it looks very similar. So to answer your question, is DC League of Superpets, is it based on a comic? The answer is kinda. And online nerds, and I mean the lowest bottom feeder level of nerds. They are so mad at this movie. Like, they're eating their Doritos, they're drinking their Mountain Dew, and they're smashing their keyboards, and they're like, fuck this movie. And it's like, dude, it's a kid's movie about a talking dog. You need to chill. It's not even a normal talking dog. It's Superman's dog. Chill. But here's where it is. So Crypto is the name of Superman's dog, who has all the abilities Superman has. He can fly, he can do all that sort of stuff. And he's actually a real cartoon character. But he's a comic book character. But he's not someone you should take seriously. It was like from like the 70s or something, when like comics were a little cheeky. They weren't really serious. They weren't really what they are now. Like, I don't think you would make this type of character seriously. But was it like a joke comic? Like, oh yeah, look, here's this like little like side like story from Superman that's like, because I remember unfortunately no, like it's more like back then, like remember 60s Batman, how cheesy he was with the whole, that's how cheesy comic books were back then. They weren't mature stories. And so of course Superman will have a flying dog that helps him fight crime, but obviously they don't really touch on that or that part of the legacy or lore anymore because it's kind of silly. But it makes a great idea for a kids movie. Now what they're all getting mad about, the guys, is the other superhero pets you see are not from the comics. And in fact, there is a League of Super Pets in the comics, but they're all completely different characters with different powers. Like, they've all the pets are meant to have the same powers as their owners. So the dog in this trailer has super strength, but they're all like, this dog shouldn't have super strength. He should be good with gadgets like Batman. And it's like, bro, like, you didn't get this mad over Minions, okay? So just chill. It's not affecting your cinematic universe. It's made for 3-year-olds to distract them on Netflix or HBO Max while their parents are able to cook dinner.
I mean, I
Chill the
can
fuck out.
kind of get that to a degree if you're like a super fan of it's like the super pets. I can kind of like sympathize a little bit with that. Like, you know, it's not exactly as it is in the source material, but I mean, they're a bunch of like crime fighting pets. Like,
Yeah, like you shouldn't take crime fighting pets. That's seriously, like I'll admit I'm guilty. I've been that guy 100 times. Like, it's not accurate to the comic books. How dare they? Or
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
treating the source material with enough respect. I've been that guy. But I draw the line at super pets. The word
Yes.
super pets is silly enough as it is. Like, calm down, dude. It's a movie about talking dogs. Like, but look, it looks fun. It looks like a fun kids movie. The art style is very dramatic. It's always nice seeing new interpretation of the characters. A lot of people are roasting Batman for his ears being pointy. I kind of like how Wonder Woman's looking, but I'm guessing like these superheroes, they're not the main focus of this film.
no. I got the impression it was the pets.
Yeah, it's all the pets. It's a stacked cast. Like we've got so it's another team up between Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
is,
I heard Kevin Hart's name, it's voice in it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, his voice is so distinct.
Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson are joined at the hip. They will never be separated, it feels like. But yeah, so Dwayne Johnson's Crypto the Superdog. Kevin Hart is the other one. We also got Kate McKinnon, John Krasinski, Vanessa Bayer, Natasha Lyonne. Okay, there's a few names here I don't recognize. But we also got Mark Maron, who I used to love his podcast. And he plays the Joker. So apparently the Joker.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and Ben Schwartz is in here, and Ben Schwartz is amazing. And apparently Keanu Reeves is too. I'm not sure who he's playing, but...
Didn't Ben Schwartz do all those like college humor skits?
Yeah, he wasn't a part of College Humor, but he did a lot of stuff on College Humor. Most people know him as Ralph Macchio. No, not Ralph Macchio. Ralph... The comment's going to kill me, but he's in Parks and Rec as a recurring character, and he's hilarious, and the name's not coming to me right now. But he also recently voiced Sonic the Hedgehog, and he was... that movie, he was perfectly cast as Sonic. If anyone likes Ben Schwartz, I highly recommend on Netflix. One of the funniest things that exists on Netflix, him and Thomas Middleditch did a 3-episode long improv live show called Middleditch and Schwartz, where they're on a stage, they take a suggestion from the audience, and then for the next hour, like then they interview someone from the audience, and then using like words they said, they form an entire storyline out of it. It's actually incredible. If you want a good laugh, I highly recommend it. But yeah, the fact that we're on a tangent now probably means we're done on this topic. So, DC League of Superpets looks fun. I don't know if I'll see it. Like, I love my superheroes, but you gotta draw the line somewhere. But this...
Can I just say that did you not think that Superman? I was just thinking the whole time, Mr. Incredible. Just Mr. Incredible.
It's the same jawline for sure. Same with Batman.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I have a feeling I would not be surprised if they took the exact same character model for Batman and Superman and they just put a mask on Superman and just copy and pasted. But yeah, you know, I think they definitely took inspiration from stuff like that. Like, this is not a Pixar film, but it does feel Pixar inspired.
Yeah.
I have to admit, like, while I can be critical on a lot of animated kids films that aren't Disney, like I think Illumination really fucks shit up. I'm scared for them to touch Mario, but this one like looks.
Oh
quality.
god, yeah.
Yeah. They just announced Chris Pratt will not be doing an Italian accent, which I think is good. Because it means not cultural appropriation, but also but it's also not good because I'm going to hear Chris Pratt's voice come out of Mario's mouth, and that I'm not ready for. That's a thing.
Yeah. It's just going to be, but you're just going to think of Chris Pratt though. Like, you're not going to think of Mario. Like, it's so, that whole, I can't wait for a trailer to come out. It's so weird.
just even thinking about Chris Pratt voicing.
See,
Mario,
I would have rather him at least try an Italian accent actually, because at least then, like, it's not Chris Pratt. And before anyone says like cultural appropriation, I'm half Italian, so I have rights.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Look, I know we're on a tangent here, but I think with Mario, the only way to do a Mario movie is either A, you don't have him speak at all, or B, is what I think they're actually doing. You have to completely reinvent the character, which is going to be hard because we've known him for like 30 years or 35 years, something like that. So I'm really scared. But I will say, with that casting, Jack Black as Bowser, I'm here for it. And another one I'm here for, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I am definitely here for that. Those two are great cast. I can also imagine they said Charlie Day is Luigi, and while he's not going to sound anything like Luigi, I can imagine it. Like Luigi.
I think that Charlie Day as Luigi's good casting. I could picture him as Luigi, like in a voice role.
Like, he's definitely done characters like Luigi, the whole scared and he panics and stuff. It can work. It's just, it's going to be weird hearing that voice coming out of his mouth. But, look, let's move on to our discussions. Spoiler alert. The following film discussions contain spoilers. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, 007, No Time to Die, and Tiger King Season 2. If you don't want to be spoiled, be sure to check the time codes in the description below. You've been warned. Woo! We're here. We're finally here. We're going to talk about Venom, Let There Be Carnage. You and I actually went and saw this together. That's pretty exciting. I'm actually disappointed that Adrian's not here with us to discuss, because I know she would have loved to hear this conversation. But, dude, you already know kind of how I feel. I kind of know how you feel a little bit. But, and you know I could rant forever about this. But be honest. Give me your brutally honest opinion. Even if you disagree with me, what do you think of Venom, Let There Be Carnage?
It's a steaming pile of dog shit.
Agreed.
I was watching this. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson. Like, what have they got? What has Sony got you for to be doing this? Like.
I'm there like, I'm so glad I didn't bring my girlfriend to this. She'd be mad at me. She'd be like, Matt, why'd you take me to this piece of shit movie? She would have stabbed me in the throat. She's like, you're never taking me to the movies again. It was so bad. It was, but I love that it was bad, because it means I get to just rant. But I'm not here. I went in, I want everyone to know, I went in with an open mind. I lowered my opinion, and I said, it will, and I actually said to you before the movie started, I said, this will probably be better than the first one.
Oh,
and
no.
Halfway through the movie, I leaned over to you and I said, I can't believe this is worse than the first one. Like, because on paper, it sounds great. You've got Andy Serkis directing. Yeah. You've got one of the most beloved and most wanted villains from all of Marvel Comics finally on screen. You got him played by an A-list incredible actor. And somehow, some way, they make it all fall apart into complete dog shit. Like, okay, let's be nice. Let's say all the things we liked about the film. I have one thing I'll say.
Yep.
The design of Carnage as the character, he looked cool. He looked very threatening. He looked like the comic. I like that. He was a bit taller, but that's okay. So was Venom in this. That was cool. So he looks
Is he usually
really
shorter
cool.
or?
They're usually, both him and Venom are usually like human size, like maybe a little bit bigger than a human, but in this they're like 8 foot or whatever. And that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. You want to make him look cool, make him tall, make him threatening. That's fine. I'll also say Woody Harrelson's performance. So at the end credit scene of Venom, I hated that wig on him. It looked so cheesy. In this, like, they fixed his hair. This personality for Carnage is not the type of character I grew up with. He was more like the Joker, a bit more laughy, more hyperactive. From my understanding, in the modern, it's more like this. He's a bit more like Silence of the Lambs sort of thing. And I think Woody Harrelson with what he had, did a good job for the most part. Like,
he did all right. Like, he did okay with what he was given, but I wish he had more to work with. Like, I felt like he didn't have enough to work with. There was not enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was just very. I don't know. Like, because I don't. You know, like, I don't know. Like, again, I don't read the comics. I don't know the comics. Comics fans would probably, you know, think, oh no, it's just not supposed to go like that or whatever. Or but like, okay. I just felt like.
Well, you're going with a blank slate, so
there was so much more. Yeah. There was so much more you could do with his character. His character just like what I barely knew much about him. Like what is an inmate going to death row? Okay, he has this. The girlfriend. What was up with the girlfriend? I had no idea who the fuck she was. Like, and Max like, oh yeah, she's in the comic book and this and that. I'm like, that's great. I don't know who the fuck she is. Like, she's just some chick that blows shit. Like. Yeah.
And it does feel weird, and I've seen other superhero films of lesser quality fall in this trap too, where they're like, they give a power a superpower, or give a character a superpower. And they're like, well, everyone else has superpowers. But like, the thing with Venom and Carnage, they've explained why they have those powers. With her, she's just some meta-human thing, and you just got to accept it. We don't know about her backstory. We just knew that they went, like, we have little bits and pieces, but in 90 minutes, there's only so much you can do. And yeah, they've got a smaller like cast this time around, but they still don't feel like real people. They don't talk like real people. There's never a conversation that lasts more than 60 seconds.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say as well, like about the whole 90-minute thing, and I don't know if you felt this, but I felt like this movie was probably originally about 2.5 hours, and they've chopped it down to 90 minutes, and they've just cut all the the extended talking sequences super short. That's the impression I got. Like,
if it was 2 hours, this movie would have been unwatchable, because if it was the same movie but longer, it just means it means we would have spent an hour and a half, maybe more, without Venom and Carnage. They meet each other at the end and then they fight, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, they're so spread apart. There's nothing happens in this movie. And maybe that's the good thing. Maybe it's good that it's 90 minutes, because if it was 2 hours and nothing happened, it would have been incredibly boring. But instead with this, the editing is so quick and choppy and clunky that it doesn't give you time to be bored. So they've created a problem. Like, they've fixed a problem by creating another problem. They've cut out all the boring stuff and they've made it real quick. But now it moves at such a breakneck pace, it's hard to keep up. Like, I think one of the biggest criticisms Rise of Skywalker had, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, was the first act. It was really fast and choppy and quick. This is like that, plus they're on meth. Like, the editor was on meth while editing this. It's like... It's like, wait, what happened? Right.
Well, that's why I thought it went longer, because I'm watching, I'm like, it's so choppy. Like, as you said, it was felt like 60 seconds max at each scene. I'm like, surely this was longer, and the studio was like, oh yeah, let's cut it down as much as we can. We got to chop it up. Like, Sony was like, we're going to chop it up as much as we can. We're going to cut as much as we can to, I don't know. Like, I reckon it would be 5 of as long if they had Venom and Carnage meet sooner, like beforehand.
If you gave them a second fight scene in this film, oh my God, I think I would have loved it so much more, because, maybe he loses the first time and then the second time, the stakes would have been risen. But instead, and this goes into my biggest criticism of the film, so when he first meets him, he gets scared. He goes, oh no, that's a red one. He's all scared. And it's like, okay, finally you've given us an emotional character moment for Wait, but you're playing it off as a joke. And that's the biggest problem with this film. It's joke. No one has time to give you anything to do with character development or story work, or nothing to do with anything else. There's too many jokes, and for me, 95% of the jokes don't land for me. I find I can't, in the comics, just so you know, in case you're unaware, Venom is like a fearsome, kind of scary, brutal force. And in this, he's a silly little clown puppy dog. And I can't believe they did this, but they made him annoying. He was not annoying in the first one. In the first movie, he was jokey and stuff, but he was still, kind of serious. Sometimes Eddie was scared of him. And this is like a little toddler constantly pulling on his sleeve.
He's a joke.
And sometimes I just wanted him to shut the fuck up. And all the scenes where Venom's not in it, it's such a breath of fresh air. With every scene that Woody Harrelson's by himself, oh my God, the movie just, it feels so much better because there's not someone yapping in your ear all the time. I know that's meant to be the point of the movie, but that's a bad movie. Like
it was too much. It was too much. Like it's just like with Venom, you just do it a bit. You don't just oversaturate it. And I feel like the whole film it oversaturated how much he was trying to put in his comedy, and I was just too much. And I was just like, man, can you just shut up for a second? Like he's just talking way too fucking much. And I just got over it. And
oh, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say as well, and the tone's all over the place. It's like, oh, are we gonna be like this funny, hilarious, like superhero type movie, or we're gonna have this grounded? And it just kept going all over the place. Like it didn't know what it wanted to be. Like with the scenes of Woody Harrelson, they're kind of like more grounded and more serious. But then you have like Tom Hardy and Venom, and it's all just like comedy and shit. It's just like all a laugh. And I was just like, there's no like, it just didn't mesh.
Like they feel like it feels like bad improv, but I know it's not improv. Like to Tom Hardy's credit, he's doing an all right job. Like he's acting annoyed, he's acting pissed off. He is believable, right? But that doesn't mean that it's well put together. Like this writing is fucking annoying. It is so annoying, and it sucks out all the tension. There's no tension ever in this movie. Unless it's Woody Harrelson by himself. There's no tension, there's no drama, there's definitely no drama at all. And it's so cringy, some of this quote unquote comedy.
Can we talk about the rave scene? Can we talk about that rave scene? That fucking rave scene.
I said, when he picked up the mic, I leaned over to you and I'm like, he better not fucking rap. He just starts rapping him out of here.
You know what, man?
Instead, he just, he went and gave a shitty speech. He's like, Eddie doesn't let us be free. And they're like, nice costume, dude. Since when did a costume have moving teeth and tongue? It's not a costume.
And he's like an 8 foot tall, like 2 foot wide alien. Like, which human being's gonna be like, oh yeah, bro, that's a pretty cool costume. Like, oh yeah. Like,
also, another movie happened. There's like, it's been on the news, an alien's been here, the Life Foundation. Nah, it's a good Halloween costume.
Yeah.
No.
I would say if he rapped, this would have improved my score in this movie. So I would have been all for it. I'm like, fuck it. You're throwing it in the towel at this point. Just fuck it. Just sing it. Just give me some entertainment. So. So yeah, it's just it was bad. I mean, like the first Venom, like first Venom, I don't really remember anything about it except the few times that Tom Hardy and Venom were kind of getting to know each other, which I thought was good. A good thing they did when they were getting to know each other and getting like, but it was more subtle then. This one's just over the top. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they had space in between it. They gave it to you in chunks. It wasn't a rapid machine gun fire. Like it was. I've never been so annoyed by a film before, and it hurts more because I like the character and I want him to do good, and I can't believe Sony thought this movie was acceptable. Like, this is why I get mad at Sony, because like the post-credits.
Oh, you're keen for Morbius now.
Here's the thing. It's like, I wonder. I feel like Andy Serkis knows better than this, so I'm thinking maybe there's a lot of studio interference here.
He's a talented dude. Like, he knows his shit. He knows his stuff with his writing and his film. He's a good actor. Like, I definitely think there was something to do with studio in this. There had to be, without a doubt.
Studio interference, like, it makes a lot of sense. Sony has a bad reputation of doing stuff like this, especially with the Spider-Man films. But wow, it is. I can't believe I cringe so much. Something we should say, because a lot of people are going to leave this film excited because of the Spider-Man cameo, which, by the way, spoiler alert for the end credits scene. You get a Spider-Man cameo. Feels kind of weird to see Venom licking a picture of a high school student. No.
Did you find that cringy?
It feels like a very forced cameo that clearly Marvel did not interact with, because all that footage is from Spider-Man Far From Home. Like, none of that was shot particularly for them. I thought it was a bit cringy, but there's cringier stuff. To the film's credit, though, I will give it one more compliment. The fight between Venom and Carnage was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. But, you know, we used to CGI action fest by now. It's nothing over the top and particularly impressive or amazing, but he was a better villain than Riot, who we had from the last movie. But
I just wish he had more to do. Like, I just felt like there was just nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, there just wasn't that much to his character. He could have delved way more into his character. Like,
I do not understand how anyone can, over the age of maybe 14, could find this to be an entertaining, like, good movie. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it just feels like even the so messy, and like it's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. I just pulled it up here. It's at 59%. But I feel like that's even too high. The audience is 84.
High. It should be.
I don't understand it.
It should be lower than the first Venom. The first Venom I thought was better than this. Like the first Venom, like I don't remember anything about the first Venom. Like I don't remember that much, but I still would watch this, like the first Venom over this movie any day of the week. Like,
yeah, I feel like everyone who compliments this film, who likes this film, they like it for two reasons. They're happy that Carnage is finally in a movie. Like, they're not even judging it because it's a good movie. They're judging it because they like the character from a different source material. And they're liking it. And the only thing everyone talks about is, oh, the post-credit scene, the post-credit scene. It's like they didn't even watch the movie. They just watched the post-credit scene. Yeah. But yeah, it's a post-credit scene that could lead to something interesting and cool. But the movie sucks. But no one's willing to... But people just go, oh... You ask these like Marvel fans or Sony fans, go, oh, what'd you think of the movie? Oh, the post-credit scene was so good. What'd you think of the movie? Oh, the post-credit scene was so good. What'd you think of the movie? Oh, well, it was great. No, there's no way you could convince me that. Oh, it had a really cool end action scene and the rest of it is filler. It just doesn't. The way it's written just feels like we're trapped in 2003. Like, this is how we made superhero movies. They're like, we've got the origin story and they go to separate paths and there's only one fight scene between them at the end. And it's like, we've evolved as a society, as a culture.
We've evolved as a society.
This is a first draft from 2006. Like, this is without a doubt this is without a doubt the worst film I've seen in the cinema all year. Now, I know we've been in lockdown, so it hasn't been a lot, but I've seen a lot of films in the cinema still, and it's the worst one. It's the worst written, the worst directed, and the worst edited. I'm not saying it's complete trash. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but, it breaks my heart to see characters I love in a movie this bad. It feels, especially in the first act, it feels unwatchable. Like, towards the end, I feel like it gets better. They stop getting... when Venom stops talking and they just fight, and the takes are longer and it's less choppy, it starts feeling like a real movie. But before that, it's like, I've seen student films with better editing, man. Like, this is bad with a capital B.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm
sad talking about this. I'm in a bad mood now.
Yeah. And I remember, like, to everyone listening, I remember I was sitting next to Matt in the cinema, and Matt kept just looking at me at just different points throughout the whole cinema, and I just kept thinking, oh yeah, he's hating this. He's absolutely hating this.
I kept looking at you, and there was a kid next to us. I was looking at the kid because a lot of the time there were these terrible jokes that made me cringe, and I just was like, maybe I'm biased. I should look at someone else to see if they like it or how they feel. And like, this kid, most of the jokes weren't landing for him. And then for you,
which is another weird thing. It's like, it's receptive towards children, but you're having like all these like, because I remember you telling me something like it was going to, like, the originally thing about making Venom and MA, and it's just
going to be
like
R.
all over the place.
Or the first one was meant to be R, but no, it's like the comedy is like a PG. Not even PG. It's like a G-rated slapstick. Like, it's the comedy.
Yeah.
It's a type of comedy you do for like little kids, like the stuff you'd see on like, I don't know, something slapstick like Bugs Bunny or whatever. It's not mature comedy.
Yeah.
But then they're also like,
it needs to elevate.
Yeah, but why you got such a silly little thing when they've got these vicious teeth and their tongues, and they're always talking about biting people's heads off and they're gonna eat people alive. And then there's constant swearing. Like every scene they're saying shit or asshole or dick. They said the word dick way too many times for a superhero movie, by
They
the
said
way.
fuck.
They said fuck. And like, they
Yeah.
ruined the best emotion moment for emotional, like, it was really emotional. You know, Cletus is talking about how he just wanted a friend and blah, blah. And Venom just goes, fuck this guy and bites his head off. Again, ruined a great moment of drama for a cheap joke. Like a very low-hanging fruit, like very easy to make joke. None of the comedy in here is like witty or highbrow or smart. It's all low-hanging fruit that anyone could come up with. But yeah, it's the tone is so weird because they're trying to have they've got these scary faces and they're talking about decapitating people, but then they have like this slapstick children's comedy
Humor
element to
yeah.
it. Oh, like, this is the worst tone clash I've ever seen in a movie. It's
Yeah. I feel like the
Okay.
first one did it better. I felt like the first one, the tone they set was more kind of meshed well. It was more stable, more in line of what was, I was kind of hoping more for the second one. Because like as you said, like I didn't have coming to this movie like the highest expectations either. My expectations were pretty low, and I was watching and I was like, ish, like
yeah. The first one I wasn't a big fan of. Like a lot of people liked it more than me, but like I walked away saying it's an okay average movie. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't like the direction they took it in, but I was like, I'm willing to admit it's an okay film. It didn't do anything too bad except for that lobster scene, I feel. But this movie, and you're right, like I don't think they had a good clash of tones either, but
it was better than this
nowhere
one.
it was nowhere as bad as this.
Yeah.
This one, it's like I feel like Sony wanted to make Disney feel better about having Spider-Man and Venom team up. So they decided to make a film that was more children's friendly, while also bringing in one of the most scary and monstrous villains for some reason. And it did not work. Like, why between this and Morbius and all the other characters they're picking all these like dark characters, but
Yeah.
they want to treat them like they're babies.
Which is stupid. Just go bite the bullet and make it like hard M, which is hard PG-13 for Americans, or
Yeah.
MA. Just bite the bullet and do it. Don't go for this silly slapstick shit. Just, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You can also have.
do you know Cletus was actually supposed to be in the first Venom? I found that out recently, but they pushed him back.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
look, I also think it's weird because Cletus is Venom's arch enemy. So by killing him off, it's weird. You're kind of killing a lot of potential plot threads to do with Venom, which you'd never explored. Like, they barely even met. So, again, it's called Let There Be Carnage, but Carnage feels like he's barely in it.
Yeah.
As a threat, at least. And so it's like, it feels weird. Like, if anything, you should have built up to him and put him in the third one. But I guess at some point they've got the rights to Spider-Man.
Oh,
so they're gonna...
bro, that fucking tornado in the prison. What was that? What the fuck was that?
I don't know. It's not from the comics. It's just all of a sudden
What
they
was
turned Jim
that?
Carrey from The Mask. I'm glad you brought it up because I cringed at that too. I was like, why are they...
bro.
Why? Like, I get his Carnage's superpower. His thing is, unlike Venom, he can turn like parts of his body into weapons and blades and stuff. But like, nah, let's just turn him to Tasmanian Devil from Looney Tunes. Why? It's
I don't
it's so dumb. Alright.
Yeah.
Look, anything else to say before we move on?
Nah, let's just move on. I'm done.
Look, I'll tell you about a really good film. This is 007 No Time to Die. I'll avoid spoilers because you don't want spoilers. Do you care about spoilers?
No, you can just spoil it. Fuck it. I'll watch it eventually, but it doesn't matter.
Do you want to know how they send off Daniel Craig's character and how they close the chapter?
Doesn't he like? Doesn't he
am I
like
allowed
die
to
or
spoil
something?
that?
Or
Yeah. So 007
which he
No
won't,
Time to
because
Die.
they'll bring him back for whoever's the next Bond iteration.
Well,
so.
yeah. Well, it feels like with James Bond, and I should say before I get into it, I'm not a diehard James Bond fan. I haven't seen every single one. I haven't seen any of the Sean Connery ones, and I hear they're some of the best. I've seen a couple of Pierce Brosnan ones, which I'm told are the worst, and I've seen all the Daniel Craig ones. I love the Daniel Craig ones. I like how I have a lot of problems with the Bond franchise, but a lot of them are fixed with the Daniel Craig ones. I like how it's a bit more realistic. It's a bit more slightly grittier. It's a bit more down to earth. And I like how they continue into each other. Like the others, you could watch them out of order. The Daniel Craig James Bond films, they build into each other. And No Time to Die really builds on everything we've seen before, which I think is really great. And I think it's really exciting. If you're into like the old school Bond films where they're a bit more sci-fi and superhero-y, they sort of have a little bit more like that. There's a bit more gadgets and stuff, but it's still done within the tone of the world, which is really nice. I'll straight up say it now. This is my favorite James Bond film I've ever seen, without a doubt. Because my other problem I have with James Bond films is sometimes I feel like there's not much character moments. There's not a lot of emotional stakes or depth or character development. And I feel like I find it hard to connect to James Bond. But Daniel Craig, I've had the easiest time connecting to him because the writers have been trying to, make him a character. And this one is the best they've done that with. Like he's trying to leave behind there's a legacy he's leaving behind. There's, characters he cares about, and he actually has goals in life outside of being a super spy. And yeah, I really like the themes of legacy in this. So they do a really great job of making me care about James Bond, which I think is great. The villain played by Rami Malek, though, he doesn't have a lot of screen time. I thought it was a bit underutilized.
How much was he in it?
I reckon he's got less than 20 minutes screen time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Like he pops up here and there, but they only really, he's got maybe 2 major scenes, I would say. But for the most part, it's maybe three, because he's sort of in the beginning, but you don't know it's him. He's wearing a mask or whatever. But yeah, what's cool about him though is his plan is this weapon, which is really cool. It's it's these little nanobot things, but you give them the DNA of who you want to kill, and they'll only kill that. So if you only want to kill someone from this family or someone from this country or whatever,
wow.
You could disperse it and it'll only kill the target it's told to kill. It's like a gas. And so there's a lot of cool themes of the morality of the weapons and stuff like that, which is, not new to James Bond, but they do it really well. There's also an incredible action sequence in a staircase that's done as a one-er, like a one-shot. Now, one-ers in a staircase aren't new. Atomic Blonde did it. Daredevil, the Netflix show's done one in the staircase as well. And so, but it's still really cool to see done in Bond. Look, I'm not going to say too much, but this is without a doubt my favorite James Bond movie. Highly recommend it. And I love how there's closure. They close this chapter well. I will say also, I thought it was really smart of the writers how, so there's been a lot of talk in the media. It's well, how come there can't be a girl James Bond? Or how come there can't be a black
we're getting
James
to that
Bond?
debate.
And all that. And I think the writers were smart and they kind of gave us a possible compromise. I don't know if they're actually going to do this, but what happens is in this movie, spoilers, James Bond, he retires for a little bit, but he has to come back because whatever. But when he comes back, he sort of sees how the agency has moved on without him, and he meets a new 007 because it's just a code name they can give out, and it's this actress. Her name is I'm gonna pull it up. I don't know, but basically, No Time to Die. She's really great. She's not in as much as I thought she would be. I felt like by the trailers she'd be a lot more integral to the plot.
But she's just filling the code. She's not taking over the James Bond role. Well, that's the thing.
Her name is I think it's Lashana Lynch. I think her name. She plays this character called Naomi, who is the new 007. But she doesn't take over the spotlight. She's still a supporting character. In fact, there's another Bond girl. I think her name is. I think it's played by Anna de Armas. I'm sorry, I'm not good at these names. But IMDb open here. But what's cool about it, what I was going to say is, it's not like she's like saying it's not Jane Bond. She's just a completely other character who takes the mantle as 007. She's not replacing James Bond. She's just adapting this same code name. And what happens is like there's a nice sort of like, I know there's often like there's a passing of a torch is a common thing, but here we've got like a passing back of the torch, because at one point as they're preparing, she's like, oh, what's your code name? She's like, I would like to make a request that James goes by 007 for this mission. And M's just like, fine, I don't care, just do whatever. But like, it's a nice thing where like she shows respect to him, like she acknowledges that he came before her. And so I feel like if the creators want to, if they were to do like a spin-off or another continuation in this universe with as her. 007 with her, this Naomi character in there, I feel like no one is allowed to get mad, because they've literally like found some like loophole way that I think could make everybody happy.
And it's a different character, so
yeah, and she's a different character, but she's still 007, and she's good at being a spy. Like the way that she meets Bond, I don't want to spoil that, but like it's pretty cool. Like the way that she sort of infiltrates his world.
I could imagine like if you're like a diehard James Bond fan and she came in and it's like, okay, she's the main character now. This is Jane Bond. Male Bond pisses off. I could kind of get like, okay, that's just like kind of, you know, pressing the hot iron against the leg. I understand why people would be pissed off about that. But if it's just like it's just taking over the code name. Like there's no need to like.
Yeah, and that's why I think if they were to do that, it's like you can't get mad at that. And also, it's not like she doesn't hog the spotlight. Like they've written her in a way that she's a supporting character. She doesn't take over. There's no like scene where like she steps in and it's like, never send a man to do a girl's job. Yeah, girl. Yeah, like there's nothing like that. It's like it's
in other words, it's written well. It's written well.
But like she's believable as a spy. She's believable. Like I believe that she could infiltrate some party and secretly poison someone's drink and get out with anyone knowing or something. You know, I believe like when she shoots a gun, I buy it. Like it's Look, I don't know if that's the direction they will go. Like there's a good chance they could just recast Bond and do a whole new franchise, which is what they seem to do every 10 years or so. But I like. Yeah.
No, sorry.
If they continued it with her, I would be down. Because she's not overly in the spotlight. So I don't know if she could carry a film, but I'm keen to find out if she could. And yeah.
Well, I think they were saying something like Idris Elba and Tom Hardy were like in contention for the next Bond. I could see Idris Elba. Not so sure about Tom Hardy.
He's charismatic. He's great. Like if they were to do that, I could watch that. I also think Tom Hardy. I don't know. Like I haven't seen him in many roles where he talks a lot, outside of Venom, and you know how I feel about those movies. I feel like he plays he's great at playing a strong silent type. So some mystery. I don't know. Like I do like Tom Hardy, but all his best roles. He's got a mask on for some reason. Look, okay, we should talk about this. James Bond, right? Sorry, not James Bond. Dwayne Johnson. I always say Dwayne Johnson loves being in a jungle. Yeah. Or here's one. Tom Hardy loves being wearing a mask. Like, think about it. In Dunkirk, he's wearing a mask because he's.
This is going to be a TikTok. I can say this now. Go on.
I can't have that in. So here we go. Okay, we're starting it. Okay. So Dwayne Johnson loves being in jungles, right? We've established that, right? Right? Yeah?
Yep.
Tom Hardy loves wearing masks. Every movie, he's wearing a mask. Dunkirk, he's wearing a mask because he's flying the airplane. Mad Max, he's like wearing that weird thing over his face. Dark Knight Rises, he's Bane. He's like, oh, the you don't know the power of, he's got the mask on his face. In Venom, you could say he's wearing a mask, you got the thing over. Can you think of any other movies where Tom Hardy wears a mask? No? Okay, let us know in the comments.
No, like I've seen some of his smaller indie films he's done where he talks a lot. Like Bronson, he talks a lot. Have you seen Bronson? I think he's like, I know, he's probably one of my favorite actors nowadays, to be honest.
He was good in Rock and Roller. I remember him Rock and Roller.
Yeah.
Who was he in Peaky Blinders? I haven't seen that in ages.
Oh, I haven't seen Peaky Blinders, but he plays like some Jewish gangster or something like that, or something along those lines.
I remember him. Actually, no, yeah, he was great in Peaky Blinders. I remember him now. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was great. He was actually really great. Sorry, continue.
He could pull it off, but I don't know. Like, there's a lot of Tom Hardy around.
I feel like when you're casting James Bond, they're probably going to cast like a no-name, like someone we don't really know yet. Because Daniel Craig, he hadn't done a lot before he was James Bond, did he?
No, he hadn't. I don't think he'd done heaps. Like, he'd been like appeared in a couple of big movies here and there, but he was like a sort of like a very side character kind of thing. But I thought he nailed, like, and again, like you, I'm not a big James Bond fan. You know, I've seen all the Daniel Craig movies. I don't know if I've seen all of Casino Royale. And for the most part, besides Quantum of Solace, they're all pretty decent. So
yeah, I'd say Casino Royale. If No Time to Die is not my favorite, then it's Casino Royale. I think those two are pretty close.
I'd probably go maybe Skyfall, but I thought
Skyfall's great.
Casino Royale's really good as well.
That opening scene in Skyfall's so good. Look, though, let's move on. Our final one for today. Let's talk about Tiger King season 2. Tiger King took the world by storm back in all those years ago in 2020, and everyone couldn't stop talking about Tiger King. But now Tiger King season 2's come out, and I feel like no one cares. Have you noticed this? Like, no one's talking. Why do you think no one cares about season 2?
I think, like, because it was just like a one-hit wonder kind of thing. I feel like people now thinking like, oh, it was just a cash grab. Like, they're just, you know, writing off the success of the first Tiger King. Like, I'm not going to complain, because I find the whole story, like all these stories that these, like, you know, all this shit that these people are involved in, interesting. It's all interesting, and I'll watch it. But like, yeah, I totally understand why people are like, oh, you know, they're just writing off the success of it. You know, there's not gonna be as much story. You know. Yeah. I can kind of see why. Like,
now, I got to make a confession to everybody here as well. I haven't seen all of season 2. I watched the first couple episodes, sort of fell off, and then you convinced me that it gets better, and the last 2 episodes were way better. Yeah. And so today, I tried to watch them. I got through the second last episode and halfway through the final episode, and I'll admit it gets a lot better in those last 2 episodes. So I think I'll just back it up. For those who aren't aware, I think while season 1 kind of felt like it had a bit of a story, season 2, it's more like, it's like a where are they now? Here's this character from season 1. It's like a big plot point is the fact that season 1 was so successful, which is kind of weird, I think, for a documentary. It kind of feels like the documentarians are really contributing to the story. But towards the end, it starts feeling like there's a bit more of a story, because I think we find out more of the shitty stuff that Jeff did, and then this Tim Stark character.
Oh, dude, that dude is a fucking nut job. Like,
yeah, he's like Tim another Stark. Joe Exotic. He's always talking. He's openly telling people he's going to shoot.
I'd even put it even worse than Joe Exotic. He's like,
but in the craziness, he's out there. Like, he's,
yeah.
And it's Alan Glover guy who comes out of nowhere, and so I didn't see the end. So fill me in here, but he said he was going to like make a confession and say that he was the he was going to get Joe out of jail, or what happened there?
No. So he was the one that Joe allegedly hired originally to kill Carol Baskin, and then the whole thing in season 2 was, well, actually no, Alan Glover then like flips the table and says, no, I was originally going to kill Joe because I was sick and tired of him. He's like, I never ever. He's like, and he basically said the whole thing didn't happen. The whole thing was like, you know, there was no plot to kill Carol Baskin, and basically it just completely flipped. And because Joe,
who was going to pay him to kill Joe? Who was going to pay him to kill Joe?
Well, I don't know. I think it might have been like a hypothetical, but him and Jeff were kind of, because Kim and Jeff were like friends, right? Yeah. And I think they were talking about, you know, getting rid of Joe somehow. And I don't know if it actually he meant when he said he was going to kill Joe, but they were like like it was like that thought in their head about killing Joe, and I don't know. He's a bit of a weird person, but he's basically just flipped the whole thing and said, no, the whole thing's faked. Joe, he says, I think like earlier in the season, he says to the camera guy, Joe doesn't deserve to be in prison or whatever, or he doesn't deserve to be in prison for as long as he's been in prison, stuff like that. And yeah, I mean,
dude, does it seem to you, because I get this vibe, especially in these later episodes when it starts getting a bit crazier, and there's people talking about getting Joe out of prison, and there's some people flipping sides, like people who are against Joe are now on his side. Yeah. Do you feel like they're just doing it for the fame? Like now the show's successful, they want to keep the story going, or it just seems weird that they're changing their stories so much now.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, like Jeff Lowe and Alan Glover and basically the people that were against Joe were kind of made out to be pieces of shit. And Joe was kind of propped up as the good guy or whatever. In the way that it was shot, in the way from his story and stuff like that. So I don't know. It could be, I think it was, what was that guy's name? James Garrison. He was like, he said one of the first 2 episodes, he's like, oh yeah, like the first Tiger King, I look like a piece of shit rat or whatever, and he's like, I'm not like that at all, and he's trying to like defend himself. And
there's a scene when Jeff Lowe says that the alliance they're building, like it's literally out of self-preservation, and James Garrison said something like, yeah, I'm flipping sides, I don't care. Like he's so open about it. Like I feel like some of them, they're only taking Joe's side now. It's because they want to do it to save their public image.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of messed up, because I feel like at the end of the day, like, okay, so one of the good episodes in this, I think it goes into Carol's ex-husband, the one that she allegedly fed to tigers, and I reveal how much of a piece of shit he was, and how he was doing all sorts of illegal stuff in this island and had all these money issues and stuff. And I feel like I liked how they sort of revealed all this stuff. It was really interesting, because it shows there are other ways he could have died. There are a lot of people out to get that guy, And again, it seems like everyone connected to these big cats are just, everybody's crazy.
Nut jobs.
But complete nut jobs, yeah. Even without the drugs. But it seems like I feel like Carol got the bad end of the stick in the first one, because compared to Joe, she's done nothing wrong, unless she killed her husband.
Well,
feeding someone to tigers seems a little far-fetched as a method of murder, So I feel like it's a bit hard to believe, but like, yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and they delved into that dude's life. And yeah, can we talk about season 2? Nowhere as good as season 1, would you say?
No, but I wasn't expecting it to be. Like you're an idiot if you expected this season to be better than the last. I'm sorry, but
the problem is there's like I said before, there's no story to tell. So not much story to tell, because not much has happened. So it's been more of like a where are they now type thing. And I feel like it made it hard for me to stay engaged because of all that.
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting though how like some episodes were a lot better than others, I would say.
Yeah,
I would definitely say that. I had something else to say, but I've lost my train of thought.
I kind of thought the whole Don Lewis thing was kind of like, it was all hypothetical. Don Lewis, it's like maybe he went here, maybe he's still alive, maybe Carol still knows, maybe do you know what I mean? Like it's all just like, and look, it's interesting. It's like you get a broad picture of who this guy was. And it sounds like he had a very interesting like double life he was living. But it kind of got dragged, and I'm like, guys, this is just all hypothetical shit. You just don't, unless it's concrete, there's not much point. Like,
I think it's interesting as a way to try and show that Carol probably didn't kill him. Actually, I remember my main point here. The biggest criticism of the show is that like the two main characters, Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin, aren't really in it. Like Joe has some phone call conversations, but you barely see him. And apparently Carol is suing Netflix because all the footage they have of her was used without permission. Yeah, it's recycled and used without permission.
There's no new footage of her in season 2. There's none.
Yeah. And all the stuff with Joe, it's like he's still in prison. So it kind of feels like they really scraped the barrel to make this, because they kind of had to make a show without the two main characters. I would have rathered they wait a few years for Joe to get out of jail, or get permission for Carol and use her. But I think she's got some exclusive deal with someone else or whatever. But
I'm saying this now. I guarantee Joe Exotic will get out of jail without a doubt. He's going to get out. If he doesn't get out of jail, his sentence is going to be severely reduced because I think he originally had 22 years and now I think it's 17 years. And I think it's going to he'll either be released or the sentence will be severely reduced. That's what I reckon is going to happen.
I think I think reduced is possible, especially with the petitions and stuff. But letting him go, like, I don't know, they've got to have some like real major evidence or something. I didn't see the ending. How did it end? Did anything major? Was there a major reveal?
There wasn't.
I saw up to Tim Stark, and this is a really cool moment. But seeing Tim Stark lose his big cat farm, like the FBI, whoever they were, came and took all his cats, and I saw he tried to. Last time I saw, he tried to go on the run, and he drove away, and they found like a truck that had all these animals in it, and they were gonna pretty much die in there because they weren't gonna get fed or anything. Yeah. But I didn't see. Like, I'm assuming they caught him, or what happened.
Yeah, they caught him. But I was just gonna say it's funny when the cops come, and the cops are chatting to him, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta go for the property. You gotta go for the property." And Tim Stark's looking around his property. He's like, you know, there's a good sniper location over there. I might just go over there. And the cop's like, hey man, calm down. It's just, I'm like, this guy's a fucking nut job.
He goes, oh yeah, sniper distance. He goes, you gotta be careful what you say around. He's like, oh no, that's not a threat. It's not a threat. It's all of a sudden, he dials back straight away.
He gets caught. I can't remember. I think it was a few weeks until he got caught, and he got caught. But from memory, he was at a bar and he was just kind of loose lips. And someone put two and two together. I could be wrong. Someone could correct me on that, but it was something something like that.
I haven't seen it, but it sounds right.
Yeah. Did you see? I don't know. I'm trying to think about where you dropped off. Did you see like where Jeff Lowe and his missus were just kind of like falling off the wagon? Like there was a time where Jeff Lowe got caught by the cops in his car. He was completely drunk, just fucking out of it. Did you see that part?
I saw. Yeah, he had a few moments like that. Was it Jeff Lowe or someone else who was trying to build the strip club in the middle of the Tiger Zoo? Was that him?
No. That was that was Jeff Lowe. Sorry, that was Jeff Lowe.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Yes,
fucking
that was
crazy mother.
Yes.
Like, it's like, okay, so you're gonna have these baby tigers in there with strippers and all that, and you think nothing bad's gonna happen? Like people are gonna be doing drugs in there. They're gonna be drinking. You're getting tired. And you think that's safe?
He's the ultimate smart con man. Like I remember there's this scene where they're just like interviewing like all the different like former Tiger King employees, and they're all just looking like they're sitting on a couch, or they're sitting on like that guy that passed away, Eric, whatever, with the long hair. He's sitting on, I can't remember what he's sitting on, but they're all just like casual sitting. And then you see fucking Jeff Lowe just sitting with his wife in a bikini and some other chick in a bikini, just laying on this fucking bed. I'm like, bro, this fucking dude, like.
Yeah, it's some big piece of shit. It's amazing every time like they really play up how scumbaggy some of these people are, and like I buy it. It's just amazing how they can make. Like, to me, Joe was such an out there kind of a shitty person, but they somehow find a way to show how some of these people are even shittier and more crazy and more insane. They're less entertaining, but yeah.
I liked the first episode where they did the flashbacks on him, like kind of build up his life, what he was about, where he grew up. You know, he kind of grew up in that rural farm setting. You know, had a very tough father. His brother hates him, hates his guts.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Louis Theroux again from the last episode. Louis Theroux's like return documentary. He interviewed Joe's brother in more depth, the brother that hates Joe.
Yeah.
And he just kept going about how much he fucking hated Joe. He just he's like, I'd shoot Joe if he came on my property or some shit like that. And oh
my god! In this show, every 30 seconds, someone threatens to shoot someone. It's like if Jerry Springer was somehow more redneck.
But I thought Joe's life. Do you remember when he was driving that cop car? He had that cop car or whatever it was, and everyone was like, "Oh, you know, he was like the youngest deputy or whatever." When he was driving that cop car, I kept thinking of the Mad Max's car in Mad Max. I just kept, and he had like the little light above his head, like the head of the like the top of the vehicle, and I just kept thinking of that Mad Max car. And I'm like, sure, I'm not the only one that's thinking this. Like,
Yeah.
but at the end,
yeah.
Joe and Jeff Lowe kind of team up, and they have like a call with like who's the one, the guy, the lawyer that was with Don Lewis's family. I can't remember his name, something Phillips or some shit.
Yeah, I know the guy. I saw part of the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, so he basically represents Joe now, and she's trying to get Joe out of prison, and basically Jeff Lowe and his missus side with Joe, and they talk with Joe on a phone call, and Joe's like, dude, if we don't work there or do something, we're both going to be rotting in prison. So
that's why I kind of feel like they're kind of just doing whatever they can to save their skin rather than, doing the truth or whatever,
Yeah, well, Carol Baskin took the property. They got rid of all the animals. All the animals went to a sanctuary. So they had the very last scene is all the animals at this sanctuary, and they're all just like
Well,
kind of
nice.
roaming free and stuff. Yeah, like that was nice.
At the end
to
of the
see,
day, I'm just glad. I think all these people suck. I'm just glad that they get away from them because they all treat them terribly. Like that one scene with Tim Stark where they're talking about how they're clipping the baby tiger's
that's fucked.
claws, and the guy's explaining it's like getting rid of a human's knuckle because they need them to walk, and that means they're going to grow up with arthritis and problems, and it's like they're literally ruining their lives. It's like, wow, and it's all for a quick buck, so it's sad.
Well, he didn't want them scratching them, but it's like, dude, like you just letting them roam free, like willy-nilly.
You're doing it for profit. You're doing it for profit. Like, it's bad. Anyways, anything else to say before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I was just about Tim Stark and how fucking insane he is. I remember seeing him in the original Louis Theroux documentary. I don't know if you remember that. He was in that. He had this baboon caged up in this like tiny ass cage, and Louis takes him out, and the thing's clearly freaked out. And even then, I thought, man, this guy's unhinged. There's something off about this dude. So I liked the fact that he was included in the new series because it kind of gave it that bit of extra without, Joe and Carol around. So yeah, I still enjoyed it. It obviously wasn't as good as the first one because they didn't have enough material, but still enjoyed it. So.
And that wraps up for us today here on Upcoming Attractions. If you want to check out the show, I guess I'll do the shout outs here. If you want to support the show, please consider giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. Really helps us get up the charts, really helps us get the word out to people. If you're watching us on YouTube, that's what the video version is. If you're listening to us, you can do it on Apple Podcasts, you can do it on Spotify, anywhere good podcasts are. And be sure to follow us on social media. We post new content to TikTok daily, sometimes twice or 3 times a day, as well as across our other social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. Also, Jesse, we have a second YouTube channel now, don't we?
Yes, we have a second YouTube channel, and I've been trying to post on as much as I can. So it's a clips channel. Just type in Upcoming Attractions clips. And basically, there's just segments where we talk about different topics from the podcast episode, just cut up. And so if you're interested in a specific topic that we chatted about, it's most likely going to be on the clips channel. So you go in over and check it out. And so, yeah, Upcoming Attractions clips. It's not too hard to find. It's also in our About section in the main YouTube channel. So,
yeah. We sort of realized that on the main YouTube channel, there was almost too much content there. We had the full episodes, we had clips, we had highlights, and we want you guys to be able to find the episodes easily. So what we decided to do was keep the highlights to TikTok and Instagram, and then the clips we'll put on a separate channel. So all the full episodes are right where you need to be at the Upcoming Attractions YouTube page. So give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. Spoiler alert, we know there's been technical issues with this episode as well. We are still getting our heads around some of the technical stuff. We're using a pretty advanced software which captures local and internet files, both WAV and video separately. It's like if Zoom was super nerdy. And it's yeah, we've had a few technical issues, but we're a new show. We're not even episode 5 yet technically, so cut us some slack. Hope you are enjoying the show. If you have any feedback, as always, let us know. Give us a DM, or you can email us at upcomingattractionspodcast@gmail.com. That's it for us today. Jesse, any final words for the people at home?
Not too many final words, but just thanks for listening, guys, and keep on listening. And I hope you all have a great week. So,
yeah, we love you very much.
Not much else to say.
Blow on your kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. See you later.
Until next time, laters.